do not have a season's pass, yes.
Or you could buy a season pass.
Or you can also buy a season's pass, yes.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Explorers Edition.
Play 'em all.
All right, so what we got here is we're going up against the Horde. We're going to do a little bit harder than the previous time. We're going to do medium.
Great job.
What this means is we're looking at a general gameplay level of, you've got your tames. You're starting to build up to your, your actual tame army. You're starting to build out your tame group. You're starting to build up your base. You're converting everything to metal, or everything's converted to metal. It's about that time period in gameplay. And if you didn't convert to metal, or you just needed stone, it's that point whenever you started taming multiples of dinos. This is generally what medium is designed for. Everyone hits that stage at a different level, so it's hard to say exactly what level that is for everyone. But generally, we're thinking like around like 60, 70 would be the average range, and that's for the medium difficulty. So we're going to try to attempt it. We've got a pretty small group here. Pretty small group of dinos too. We've got 1 Rex, 2 Allos, a Rhino, and a Thyla. Definitely decent dinos for sure, but not high tier, not high end at all. So we're going to see if we can do this. We've even set up a turret tower where the crate comes down to try to give us a little bit of assistance. We'll see how well that works out for us. Let me just make sure my team's ready. And we'll get this going. $50K. Wow, we hit 50K. Wow, that is amazing. Good job. Thank you guys so much. I mean, we are in this. Literally, we are in this for the charity. And thank you guys for supporting that. Thank you guys for donating and making it possible to hit our goal, what we thought was going to be possible at 7. That's, wow. We have an impressive community. Thank you guys. And now let's try to get a little bit of Extinction in. And as you saw, Horde crates do not care much about your structures. They should and will destroy just about everything that's put in their way or even in their range. We want to make these a fun fight, and giving you a way to easily farm them is not fun as far as I'm concerned. Then that's just a task, and it becomes a boring task because you're gonna do it the most efficient way, because why not? So now we're trying to make sure that good gameplay, good solid, healthy gameplay is encouraged, that you always have that opportunity to bring your dinos in. It'll be good reasons to bring your dinos in, and it's balanced in a way that it'll be a challenge but not impossible. There could definitely be a cost though. If you go in at the wrong times, you go in to a crate that you're not ready for, there's definitely going to be challenges to that, and there's going to be consequences to that. So you want to make sure to scout them out, learn the difficulties well before you go in. And it looks like we're starting up now. Our shield is extending, and you can see with the yellow that this is a medium difficulty. All the leftover remnants of our turrets that this thing just smashed. This wave's going to be a lot harder dinos. As always, though, we start off with a smaller wave to give your team time to get grouped up, to start getting towards the area, to get your group together and to the Horde crate before it just gets destroyed. Because, of course, it can take upwards of 30 minutes just to get across the map. So we definitely tried to make sure that there's a built-in way for you to get there. You're still going to need to hurry, but there is a timer that's ticking down, but much slower at the beginning. So it's better to kind of leave it alone, or even just, call out the herd or try to distract them if you're waiting on your team to get there because you spotted the crate. Let me turn my sounds down just a little bit. I don't know if Steven said down. They were down pretty low. Might need to turn them down further. So now that we got that wave completed, and you can always check at the drop, it'll kind of give info on how the wave is going. And right now it looks like we cleared out all the NPCs and more are coming. And it'll tell us when the wave starts. And you can actually see the drop will change so that you don't have to go right up to it and view it every time. The drop will actually change. It has different animations for the different stages. So you never actually have to return to the drop to see what it's doing. Right here you can see the dinos coming in. Once all the dinos are spawned, you'll actually see this center part light up to full, and then as they're killed off, it'll start ticking down. So you can just look back at the drop and you see how many dinos you have left in that wave to kill. We'll see if we can help the Rex over here, who's all on his own. And most of these dinos are either going straight for that Rex or they're trying to focus the actual shield and get it down. Just like with the crate, the dinos will go for the shield and ignore anything around them. Some of them will always do that, but most will try to fight you to make it a challenge to keep the shield protected. So you're not just like freely biting dinos that are pointed the other way and you can't just run behind them. So you can't hear the game right now? Turn it up higher?
No,
Or
I just don't hear anything.
do you hear? I mean, it's definitely playing. Let me see if it's. No.
Yeah.
No, it's not going through that. Maybe I need to restart real quick.
Don't do that.
We're in no sound mode. But as you can see, the lights are halfway up, showing just where the how many dinos are left and how much progress we've made towards this horde, towards this this wave.
So you turned off the sound filter. See the sound button on the taskbar?
Oh yeah.
I thought you did. Go over there. Wow.
There we go. Steven is a mastermind. Turn the sound on. That's probably a good idea, good place to start. Yep, and now we definitely have sound. Sorry about that, guys. Steven coming in to save the day. I'll try to answer any questions as we're going through. It's hard to, it's very easy to get lost and suddenly lose the crate. The corrupted nodules are actually just a substitute for organic polymer. It's quite easy to get a lot, but it doesn't drop. It's not a frequent drop. It will drop, and you'll see it quite often, but you won't see much of it. So you're gonna have to go through and killing quite a few horde dinos to get a lot of it. But it's very easy to farm up, and then on top of that, you're getting a free experience for each dino you're farming it from. It's definitely going to be tough to solo a Titan. It'll be possible, but it's not going to be something that's easy or something we would ever really encourage people to do, but it is possible. On single player, it'll be a lot easier, but I imagine there will be some very, very smart person, very good player, who figures out how to solo a Titan, even on an official server. Just realized I have cheats on, so I'm not taking any damage. This is a little unfair. Let me make sure I get that turned off once I get these guys away. Alright, there we go. As you can see, our crate is now starting to take damage. Once it starts to spark like that, that's a notifier that your crate's lost at least 25% of its health. or around there. So we know that it's taking damage, but it's not low. Once it starts to get a little bit higher in the sparks, starts to get on fire a little bit, that's when it becomes a lot more obvious, and we need to start making sure we're protecting the crate. You can see these waves are not easy on us. With our Rexes are all low, my Thyla's at half health. The Rhino seems to be doing fine, so does the Yellow. And we'll just keep running around. I'm sure they're force feeding it. As I need to force feed this Thylaco. Oh. And now we got the flyers in the wave now, which are going to make this much more difficult. And then as you notice, I'm sure you've noticed from easy, the dinos are much lower level. So the dinos are actually leveled to the difficulty of the crate. Once we start getting into the hard and even the epic tier, like the dinos start to get extremely high level and much more difficult, more like the boss dinos. You'll notice I keep trying to shoot dinos around the crate. That's because the crates will take damage from your dinos. So if I were to try to bite the Dillo off, I'm going to end up just hurting the crate more than I would if I just shoot it. I know a lot of people are not fans of the assault rifles, but they're definitely very valuable for this mode. As are, any number of projectile weapons, just for doing that direct damage to the dino and making sure that it's not a big wide AoE that's hitting everything on accident. So the drops will fall at preset locations, but there's multiple drops that can fall at that location. So it's not always going to be the same difficulty every time, but there's generally areas where it's easier dinos, so that'll be easier crates. And then you have the areas that are much more dangerous, and you'll have all kinds of very, very high level, hard to kill corrupted dinos in those areas. And those will be areas where you have crates that are the hard crates and the epic crates. Yep. They're very much based on what's already in the area and the difficulty of the area.
Oh, how are they doing?
We're
Oh my gosh!
okay.
Wait,
We're close. We're losing dinos. This is going to be a tough one.
What difficulty is this?
medium.
We're all losing dinos.
Correct. So medium's the one that people lost to at TwitchCon. No one could beat medium, and I don't know how Paris did.
Yeah, medium was not even an option.
Yeah, people were using tech guns for that.
Oh my gosh, look at this. This is what you want to try to prevent.
Yep.
Them crowding the crate, getting too close to the crate, or crowding you. Becomes really hard, but you have these flyers flying around. The Terras make it definitely more challenging because you want to kind of prioritize on them just because they can get easy access to the crate, but
This
Yeah.
is awful.
This
I'm
is-
getting chased.
Yeah. The other method we saw was people using rocket launchers, but do know that your damage does damage the crate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you use something like a rocket launcher on the crate, yeah, you're doing a lot of damage to a lot of dinos in here, but you might inadvertently be making the situation worse. So just keep that in mind.
sometimes you have no choice. Though.
Yeah, exactly. You might have no choice because like we used to do it when there were like 20 wyverns on this thing, and you just have to shoot them.
Man, this is rough.
This is.
Oh
I
my
don't
gosh,
think
you're gonna lose
I
that
don't think
crate.
we're gonna make it.
You're going to lose it, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
we definitely. We had a small crew and we went in with like the minimum dinos. We thought we could do it.
You guys got too brave on this content.
What wave is this?
This is 4.
Okay.
Or no, this is probably 3.
Oh, huh?
So close, but okay.
Oh jeez.
Okay.
Oh jeez. Do I still have God mode on? Yeah, I do. I should be. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm dead.
Oh man, it's gonna happen quick.
Oh.
That backpedal damage though.
And again, these are supposed to be, they're meant to be giant world events, right? Like, there is no lock to this.
No.
Expect, like, if you are in a server that one of these triggers nearby, like, you can expect that a bunch of players.
And unlike the normal crates where you have a certain level where you need to be before you open it, you don't have to be a certain level technically to open these. So, granted, it's going to be really hard to get one of these if you're just starting out, especially like a medium or a hard level crate. But there is no barrier to entry. If somehow you're with the crew, maybe you have a larger crew and you're a lower level inside of that larger crew and you participate, then you have a chance to get items at the end as well. So there is no barrier for entry on these crates. It's a matter of if you can beat the waves of dinos that are coming in to try to destroy it.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I think my armor is a little strong.
It
Because
might
I
be.
should not be alive.
Yeah, it might be.
Dang, like
might be
Parasite.
using dev hacks.
No. I just used too strong armor. It's totally different. I got it from a friend.
Oh yeah, that's
He
it.
shared it with me.
That's
you know.
it. Is anyone else still alive but you? Like it looks like you might be the only
No,
one.
I see one other person running around.
How many more of those outfits you have?
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. They're so mad.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and I'm out of stam. This is gonna be hard.
You've taken a while to count.
And as you can see, the crate is taking quite a bit of damage. It's on fire now.
Oh, it's so close to dying.
There's different visual indicators for each crate or for each stage of the crate being damaged, and as you can see, it's pretty damaged right now. Oh, and they lost it.
Yikes.
So close.
And there it goes. Man. Oh.
I want to blame Ryan.
Oh, never mind.
I think he blew himself up.
Luckily, Valor is here to take the fall. It was totally Valor's fault.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
He was there.
Yeah.
I was getting chased.
Enforcers.
No, that was the crates are tough.
Rip.
There's very much a minimum level of dino or item you have to have. You could go through medium with a group of 5 and really strong tech rifles if you wanted to. 5 really good players, but it's a very
You're getting an
difficult
F in
thing
chat.
to do if you know.
Well, Valor is getting an F. Not saying.
No,
It's
as an F
different.
for F to pay respects
Oh,
for you, buddy.
thanks guys. Yeah, I got destroyed by my own dinos, by my own sets.
Yeah. So as you can see, medium is a little bit different than easy.
It is.
Difficulty definitely ramps up, and that's just medium. We haven't seen hard or you haven't seen legendary, but it definitely gets difficult. There is strategy involved, as you can see. It matters which dinos you're bringing to the fight. Different dinos are going to have different strengths and weaknesses. So it's really about finding that loadout that works for your crew.
Yeah.
And using that loadout.
And having dinos that have secondary abilities, like having something with the wyverns, their sea attack, where it just pushes dinos off the crate and gives you more space. That's another thing that will just be super helpful to have and to think about whenever you're deciding what to bring with you.
So we got a question. Survive the Ark. Is there a limit on the waves, or can you fight almost infinitely for increased loot quality with high risk of someone else stealing your loot? So there is one version of the crate that is, you can go as many waves as you're able to go, and that's what we're calling legendary or epic. Those crates are different because you can keep fighting them as long as you have the strength and as long as you have the numbers to do so. You have to go at least right now. Of course, it's subject to change with balance and everything, but right now you have to go 8 waves in order to cash out, which is quite challenging. But as the more waves you go, the dinos level up. Your loot you'll get more loot is the way that it'll work. So yes, there is a chance to keep going and get more loot. But again, your risk goes up the further you go. If you say, hey, yeah, we got this for another wave, you go in and 6 wyverns come in, they can destroy the crate like that and you'll get nothing. So knowing when to cash out, knowing when to say, hey, you know what, we should cut it out here, that's going to be key because you want to balance that risk versus reward there.
Our teams are super low, or they keep getting through, and the last time they did half like the crate's damage, there's no way we can take another wave. Knowing when to bow out when you've hit your cap. And we're kind of hoping that it'll be a challenge for everyone.
Yeah.
Like who can get to the highest, who has, because this is going to show off who has the best gear and who's the best players.
Yep.
Because clearly it's very much, being a good player, being able to get headshots on dinos consistently, being able to land those AoE type attacks like a rocket or any type of explosive attack and get the most bang for your buck and the most time. Doing the most DPS to these dinos is really going to define how far you can get. And we're kind of hoping it'll be a competition that the community creates within itself, challenging each other to go further.
We got another question here. Survive the arc. Repeat the damages. PvE settings mean your dino can hurt the supply drop or just the wild dinos? Or is it PvP style where your dinos will also hurt the supply drop? So PvE means that your dinos cannot hurt the supply drop and other people's dinos cannot hurt the supply drop. Also, your weapons won't do damage to the supply drop either. In PvP, it's fair game. Anything is open. Your dinos can cause damage to the supply drops. Other people's dinos can cause damage to the supply drops, and also yourself, your players, and anybody else who comes across. So those are the 2 different kind of styles you have for this. And I think they're fun either way. Honestly, I played on both. I played on PvE. It's much more collaborative, because you don't really have to worry about people or your dinos getting too close and hurting the crate too. So it's really fun to have a more collaborative thing. And PvP is, it's more, in my opinion, more challenging just because it's so easy to damage the crate. It's so easy to kind of get overrun. When you get overrun,
yourself.
Yeah, you start causing damage to yourself once you get overrun. So those are 2 different styles of play that you'll have for the supply defense.
Yeah. So let me see. I'm trying to find a question. For you guys. I was like, I need to lock it down. Can you build around supply drops, like fortify it?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, but
so
like a caveat.
You have to wait until after the supply drop is hit. You can build around it, and there is actually structures that will be given back to you in the supply drops. Not necessarily the ones you used.
Yeah.
And part of the loot system is structures and ammo to kind of replenish what you spent, to make it more worth it. Probably won't be as much as you use.
Well, yeah.
Because there's no way to tell exactly how many bullets you're going to use. But we will try to, give it a loot system that's worth the time and effort that it's going to take to get through these things. Because we want to make them hard and difficult and a challenge, but we also want to make sure that the challenge is worth it.
Can people steal your loot?
And
yes.
PvP for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in PvE, it will be on the ground and up for pickup.
Yeah. So whenever you open the supply cache, right, it basically just opens up and just keeps dropping loot out over and over. It's not limited to a tribe. It's not limited to a person or anything. So you could theoretically, in a PvP scenario, other people can run up and then just start snatching away loot from you. And in PvP, we fully expect this to turn to a PvP zone, like just a World War zone kind of area. Which would be exciting, especially because it'll all just be organic narrative stories that we fully expect to just expand the, story behind Extinction and the new experience, because that's not something that's ever happened in all the other expansions.
It's true.
I saw another question asking what can you bring to the Horde crate. There's no limit. You can bring Titans. One thing I will say is do not jump anywhere near them with the Ice Titan.
Yeah.
He's about 3 times the size, so he kind of squishes it.
Yeah, it's especially if you're in PvP, it's going to be really rough to try to find the balance of using a Titan like the Ice Titan and actually using that and making it effective in a horde battle. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's challenging. To Zane's point, if you jump anywhere near that crate, you're going to be in some trouble. You're going to cause a lot of damage to it. You may instantly KO it, depending on how much health it has at that point. So that it's a challenge, you know, and we welcome all challenges as far as people who want to try it with Titans, who want to try it other ways. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. You know, we've only touched on a few. You know, using structures someone brought up, that's one way to do it as well. You know, there's a lot of different ways. So that's part of the fun in this, is that it gives people, one, something fun to do, a fun way to get XP, a fun way to get meats, a fun way to get rewards. And it also is a little bit challenging. It makes you think a little bit as far as how you want to approach it. None of them are going to be the exact same. You know, it may have the same type of dinos, but the number of dinos is going to be different.
How many of each kind?
Yeah, the spread of them within waves is going to be different. They'll be coming from different, although they may have the same lanes, the same dinos won't come down the same lanes, if that makes sense. So it's going to be a little different each time you play it. So, you know, that strategy that you bank on and you say, hey, we're going to do this strategy for this crate because it's always worked, it may not work every time, just depending on how that dino spread comes out. So that's why we think it's fun. That's why I think it'll be challenging. Even for our veteran and seasoned players, there might be that one time you get overrun and you're like, oh, well, we lost some dinos.
There's definitely been times where we felt like we were like right there at the brink, and then we healed everything up and did it again, and we got destroyed, or we did really well.
So people are asking about whether or not harder waves spawn Titans or whatever. So Chris, one of the lead programmer, is that his title? He came by earlier with Zane to talk about the Ice Titan specifically and just certain Titan mechanics. So you can look at a VOD earlier about Titans. But as far as Titans spawning on later waves, no, there is a different thing entirely for the
that would also
experience
make the drops very hard.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I don't think you would want that.
No.
Of course, again, modders may want to go in. This will be heavily moddable as far as the system, which dinos you add to the system, how many waves it goes. There's a lot of customization that modders are able to do. And I'm sure someone will add a Titan. You know, it's like a final wave or a final boss. But for Extinction, Titans are fought in a specific way, which you'll find out. But they're fought in a specific way, and it's a really cool way to do it. But yeah, for Horde mode or for Orbital Supply Defense, you won't see any Titans spawning as things you need to kill.
So can you kite the dinos to another player's base? No. So when corrupted dinos spawn for supply drops, they're very specific to the actual, I guess, the actual nature of being waves and whatnot. And I don't know what the split is, but the majority of these corrupted dinos will always attack the supply cache as well as the supply cache shield, and then other dinos would choose to attack you. But it's not something that you can out kite to.
The best way to think about them is like zombies. They don't think like our normal dinos to where they get, you know, aggro. They see a shiny object and run off into the distance. These things are very focused, as John was saying. A percentage of them will be focused on just making sure they get to the crate and cause damage. Other percents will wander around the crate, depending on what's around there. So it's not going to be easy to just kite all the dinos away and say, oh, we beat it. You know, that. Not saying that there won't be some hacky way to do it, and if so, we'll patch that. But there may be, you know, like the goal is it to not be cheesed in that way, as far as trying to kite everything away into someone's base or do things like that. A lot of these dinos only have one purpose, and that purpose is to get to the supply crate and damage it. Or you haven't seen the element version, but their purpose is to destroy all the element veins. So. It's not going to be easy to do that.
And real quick, people asking about
the element. What?
Nothing.
We talked about that.
Yeah,
have we?
Yes, we have. Yes.
And real quick, people asking about the giveaway. No, we haven't given away yet, but we have already chosen a winner.
And we'll do that after right after this.
Yeah, so right after we're done with Horde mode. Excuse me, Orbital Supply Drop. we'll then
Yeah.
reveal who the lucky winner is, and then weird flex. Yo, flex.
Definitely that
2,000.
50K
Yeah,
flex.
$2,000 ago
50K
because
flex.
we are about to break 52,000.
Wow.
About to see what that 100K flex looks like.
Exactly. What's that 100K? Ooh, people ain't ready for this.
Right.
I've been wearing this oversized sweatshirt all day.
Any other questions on orbital supply defense?
Will the
Specifically?
dinos? Yeah. Will the dinos be able to damage metal and tech buildings and make a line of
Yes.
supply drop?
Yeah, all the corrupted dinos are very much corrupted in a way that they can damage anything. There's no such thing as a structure that they can't hurt. They are the ultimate destructive dino, but they're only wild. They can't be tamed.
Yes, we'll do another orbital supply drop.
Hmm?
Sorry, people kept asking like, "Are you gonna do another?" It's like, yes.
There will be more.
Yes.
There will be more. Maybe not right this second. How much time? Wait, I forgot.
Are we done at 7:30 for this?
I think so.
I
It's
think so.
7:32.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we're good, but we will be doing another one. It's on the schedule. I think it'll be like 8 a.m. tomorrow or something like that. I forgot. We'll
Might
double
be a
check.
little bit rougher.
Yeah, it might. It
Might just have some really big dinos to try to help us through that one.
Not that we're
We'll
tired.
need to. Yes,
Not
we'll
that we're half
win that
dead.
one for sure.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, so now we're gonna announce the winner of that cool 2080.
Hold on, there's an important question for you.
It's me, please,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The word flex seems to be very powerful in this live stream. Will we be able to use this flex during the supply drop as a means of defense?
Of course.
Of course.
That's
Yeah.
the flex shield
That's
that
a
Yeah.
flex.
is flexing out.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Gains for days.
Gains for days.
Mm-hmm.
All right, is Jen still up? I don't know if she
Jen?
wanted to announce this or.
Okay. Mark, maybe?
Yeah, Mark maybe.
Mark?
Should definitely have Mark announce it.
Mark's